So you have a Wonder Woman sequel for me?
Yes, sir, I do. It's called Wonder Woman 1984.
Oh great, a Wonder Woman movie set in the 80s. Will it be colorful and vibrant and finally let us break away from all that dark and gritty stuff that our fans have never seemed to enjoy?
Absolutely, sir. There will be at least 2 colorful and vibrant scenes before the movie devolves into exclusively dark blue and gray tones.
Sounds good to me. People do love it when we get dark and gritty. So what happens in this thing?
Well, the movie starts with young Diana on her native island competing in an Amazonian triathlon against a bunch of adults.
That sounds fun and colorful.
Yeah, and it's going really well for Diana until she hits a tree branch and falls off her horse.
Okay.
So then she's losing, but she sees a shortcut she can take and she just goes for it to catch back up. Then we're coming to the end of the race and she's in the lead and is gonna win, but Robin Wright's character stops her.
Oh right, I forgot Robin Wright was in the first movie. That'll be great to have her back for this one.
Yeah, we're gonna bring her back for this whole entire scene.
What?
You see, she knows Diana took a shortcut, so that disqualifies her from the race. Then she's gonna give her a big speech about the truth and how it's the only important thing that really matters.
Okay, interesting. So is that speech gonna be important for later in the movie?
Oh yeah, it probably should, huh?
Whoops. Oopsie.
Well, anyway, now we're gonna flash forward to the 1980s where Diana stops a mall heist.
Really? Not like a bank robbery or a hostage situation or something mall security couldn't handle?
Well, no, sir. You see, I want the sequence to be really light and playful and fun before we spend the next 2 hours being dark and gritty.
Makes sense.
So it turns out these mall thieves were stealing ancient artifacts from a black market inside of a mall store, and one of them is a stone called the dreamstone.
That sounds cool. Tell me about this dreamstone.
Well, it's a stone that grants you one wish if you put your hands on it and wish for something.
Oh, that's interesting, and it just grants the wish right away?
Sure, sometimes.
What?
Well, this dreamstone's gonna drive the plot forward for basically the entire movie, and I pretty much just need it to act however's most convenient for my story at the time.
Well, shouldn't we lay down a consistent set of rules so it doesn't constantly break the audience's sense of immersion?
Sir, I'm gonna need you to get all the way off my back about how this dreamstone works, because I'm gonna use it, and I'm gonna use it a lot, and I'm gonna use it inconsistently.
Fair enough.
Anyway, then we're gonna meet a character named Barbara, and everybody just hates her.
Why? Is she a really awful person or something?
Not at all. She's actually very friendly and genuine and has a heart of gold. We're even gonna show that she's friends with a homeless person.
Oh, okay, so why does everyone hate her?
Because she's ugly.
Ew, you didn't mention she was ugly. I hate her already.
Yeah. She has frizzy hair and wears glasses, so people are just outright rude to her and ignore her completely.
As they should. That's what she gets for being such a disgusting uggo.
Exactly, sir. But then Diana runs into her and shows her a modicum of kindness, so they start to become friends. Turns out Barbara is a gemologist and she's studying the dreamstone. So Diana's gonna come take a look at it and read the Latin that's written on the base of the stone.
What does the Latin say?
It basically explains how the dreamstone works, but of course Diana is skeptical of such a ridiculous artifact.
Isn't Diana a magical Amazonian goddess who's been alive for thousands of years? Why wouldn't she believe in supernatural artifacts?
Anyway, Diana decides to give the dreamstone a whirl and wishes for her dead boyfriend Steve Trevor to come back to life.
He's from the first movie.
He is, sir. Then there's an ominous gust of wind in a completely closed room, but no one notices or cares, and Diana decides it's just a stupid fake.
Okay.
But later, Barbara's also gonna wish that she was more strong and sexy and confident like Diana, and that wish is gonna come true.
How do we know it came true?
Because her frizzy hair is gone and she's gonna be wearing makeup and people are gonna start treating her like a human being.
Wow.
So then we're gonna meet this guy, Maxwell Lord, who runs a crowd-funded oil company, is just a real shyster about it.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, like he's been defrauding his investors and lying about his prospects and just all kinds of shady stuff. So he wants the dreamstone so that he can use it to save his business.
How does he know about the existence of the dreamstone and how it works?
Because that works. So he manages to get his hands on it by seducing Barbara, and then he takes it back to his office where he can make a wish.
And he wishes for it to save his company? Or does he wish for $100 billion so he doesn't even have to worry about running a company? No, I bet he wishes for 100 wishes, that sly dog.
No, he wishes to become the dreamstone.
What?
Yeah. See, he figures if he becomes the dreamstone, he can have exactly as many wishes as he wants, as long as he gets people to put their hands on him and wish for exactly the thing he wants them to wish for.
Oh, okay, I guess.
Meanwhile, Diana's at a party and is getting constantly hit on until this one guy's following her and she turns around and says, "Get away from me, you weirdo creep, I don't even know you."
Yeah, that's usually the reaction I get when I follow women at parties.
Me too, sir, but it turns out this guy is Steve Trevor back from the dead.
Wait, why didn't she just recognize him then?
Because he's in another person's body.
The dreamstone brought him back to life in another person's body?
It did, sir.
Pretty weird, but at least this will save us a ton of money when we don't have to rehire Chris Pine.
Oh, well, it's still gonna be Chris Pine.
It is?
Yeah, like once Diana realizes who it is, she starts to see him as Chris Pine.
So what was the point of putting Steve into another person's body?
I don't know. But they're not gonna waste much time before ripping into each other's bodies back at her place.
Wait, they have sex? What about the guy who lived in that body before Steve?
Oh, well, he has no possible way to consent to an act like this, so they're just gonna use his body however they want.
Oh my god.
Yeah, but it's not weird or inappropriate because Gal Gadot and Chris Pine are both extremely attractive.
Oh, that's right. Thank God they're not disgusting uggos, or we may have had to deal with some serious moral backlash over this.
Yeah.
So then what happens?
Well, then Diana figures out that if her dead boyfriend is alive, the dreamstone must be real. So she goes to investigate it, but Barbara has already given it away to Maxwell Lord, who's doing all kinds of crazy stuff with it.
Like what kind of stuff?
Well, after making his investor wish to save his company, he decides he wants to be the only oil tycoon in the world. So he's going to go to Egypt to take down a guy that he read about in a magazine called the King of Crude.
And he's not just happy being insanely successful?
He's not, sir. So then he gets to Egypt and he tricks this guy into wishing for a giant wall that would make Donald Trump poop his pants.
Oh. Okay.
And in exchange, he takes this guy's oil and all his bodyguards and pretty much everything he has.
Wait, what do you mean in exchange?
Oh, well, I haven't explained this yet, but when someone makes a wish with the dreamstone, it takes something back in return, kind of like that short story, The Monkey's Paw. And now that Maxwell Lord is the dreamstone, he can take whatever he wants from someone after he gets them to make a wish.
Wait, he can take whatever he wants? But doesn't the monkey's paw specifically take something that has to do with your wish and is kind of like a lesson to be careful for what you wish for?
Yeah, no, he can just take whatever he wants.
Fair enough. And are you going to explain this to the audience at some point?
Well, I figure they'll catch on pretty quick after seeing Maxwell Lord do this several times over the next hour. Anyway, Diana and Steve need a way to get to Egypt, so they go to a museum to get a plane.
Oh, that's smart. They go to a museum so that Steve can find an old plane that he already knows how to fly.
I guess they could have done that, but no, they're gonna grab a modern jet and Steve's gonna teach himself to fly it in like 10 seconds.
I guess that would be faster.
But then the authorities are coming after them, so they need a way to make this jet invisible.
Oh boy, Wonder Woman's legendary invisible jet. How is she gonna do it? Did you show a scene earlier in the movie of her learning how to make things invisible?
No, I didn't think we needed that. I'm just gonna have her say her father did this once and she's been working on it off screen, and then she's just gonna, do it.
Oh, not much build up to that moment.
Well, sir, the movie is already over 2.5 hours long. I don't want to bloat this thing with a whole bunch of scenes that are nothing more than logical character development and growth.
Good call.
So then they get to Egypt, and while they're driving, Maxwell Lord passes them going the other way.
Really? What are the odds of that?
Well, I didn't double check this, but I'm pretty sure there's only one road in Egypt, so the odds are pretty high.
Wow, I didn't know that.
And then we have a big action scene, and Diana tries to catch Maxwell Lord, but it turns out she's losing her powers.
Oh, that's my favorite gimmick in any superhero movie, is when the superhero starts to lose their powers.
I know, right? So she still almost catches him, but then some Egyptian children get in the way and she needs to go save them instead, and Maxwell Lord gets away.
Ah, damn those stupid Egyptian children. They're the worst.
So then Diana calls Barbara because she had asked her to find out where this dreamstone came from. Barbara says she found a Mayan shaman who can help them, and they go visit this shaman who's got an old book, and it confirms that the dreamstone works just like the monkey's paw, and the only way you can get it to stop is if you renounce your wish.
Okay.
But Diana doesn't want to do that because she loves Steve, and Barbara doesn't want to do that because she's finally being treated like a human being, and Maxwell Lord definitely doesn't want to do that because he's just gone kind of crazy.
Yeah, wait, what exactly does Maxwell Lord want at this point?
Well, his health is failing him from granting so many wishes, and he's just meeting with a whole bunch of diplomats and getting them to make even more wishes, and he's basically inciting a nuclear war.
So he's just kind of doing stuff.
And then he meets with the President of the United States and gets him to wish for even more nukes. And now he needs a way to talk to everybody at the same time so he can get the whole world to start making wishes.
Well, that won't work because you firmly established that people need to touch him to make a wish.
That's where you're wrong, sir, because particles.
What?
Yeah, see, particles are all around us and they touch us all, so, particles.
Seems like it violates pretty much all the rules you've laid down about how the dreamstone works.
Seems like you're right up on my back again about those dreamstone rules, and I'd appreciate it if you'd get off.
Oh sure, let me get off that thing.
So then the whole city is in shambles from the impending nuclear war and all the fallout from the wishes Maxwell has been granting. It's time for Wonder Woman to save the day, but her powers just aren't working. So Steve convinces her to renounce her wish so that she can go use her powers and maybe even use a couple new ones.
New ones?
Yeah, see, Wonder Woman's gonna lasso herself real high up in the air, and as she's falling, she's gonna remember something Steve said earlier in the movie about flying. You see, she didn't understand flying, but he told her it's just wind and air, and he knows because he's a pilot.
Okay.
So now Wonder Woman can fly.
Wait, that's it?
Yeah.
All it took was her knowing about wind and air and she can suddenly fly? Why hadn't she tried that before?
Well, I figured she had tried using wind and then maybe she had tried using air, but now that she knows it's wind and air, she's got it all figured out.
Wow.
So then she flies back to her apartment and grabs a legendary golden suit of armor from her people's past that she can put on.
Oh, interesting. And what does that do for her?
It looks really, really cool.
Great. Can we use it in all the promotional material?
Well, she only wears it for like 10 minutes, but I'm sure that won't bother people, because it really does just look awesome.
Sounds good to me.
So then she's on her way to stop Maxwell Lord, who's granting wishes to the entire world because of particles. And while she's flying over there, she lassos a frickin' bolt of lightning.
Oh, lassoing bolts of lightning is tight.
But then she gets stopped by Barbara, who is turned into an actual cheetah.
What?
Yeah, see, Maxwell Lord asked her what she wanted more than anything, and what she wanted was to become a cheetah.
But didn't she already use her wish?
Yeah, but he gives her cheetah powers from all the monkey's paw powers he has after getting wishes from all the people on Earth.
I mean, okay, I guess.
So then Cheetah and Wonder Woman have a fight, and Wonder Woman wins by electrocuting her in some water.
Wow.
Then it's time to finally stop Maxwell Lord, but he's already granted a whole bunch of wishes to everybody on the planet.
Yeah, and you've already established that the only way to save the day is by having everyone who's made a wish to renounce it. Sounds like it's going to be pretty hard to get hundreds of millions of people all over the planet to renounce their wishes.
Actually, it's going to be super easy. Barely an inconvenience.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Diana's just going to lasso Maxwell, which lets her talk to all the people on the Earth, and she makes a big speech about how we all want the world to be a better place, and that pretty much does it.
That speech convinces every single one of the millions of people who made their wish to renounce it?
Yeah, it's a really friggin' good speech.
Amazing.
And that's pretty much it. The movie ends.
Wait, what happens to Maxwell and Barbara? Don't they go to prison or something?
No, Maxwell reunites with the sun, and Barbara stares at the sunrise peacefully.
Oh, it seems like they kind of got off easy for a couple of war criminals.
Did they? Honestly, I didn't think too much about it.
That's clear.
Well, what'd you think?
Sounds like a great sequel, but don't you think the pandemic is going to affect its numbers?
Well, I figure we can release it on HBO's streaming service and let everybody watch it from home.
I don't know, that sounds like it'll set a dangerous precedent for the struggling movie theater business to ever recover.
Look, this is just a temporary measure, and I'm sure most people will want to see it in theaters anyway.